So today's video is going to be my one brand tutorial, which the brand, as you guys already know, is Tarte. Now, I had like 90% Tarte products. Oh, I was telling you guys, I'm sorry for wearing a beanie. I'm trying to let my hair grow. It's a disaster, long story. So I had like 90% Tarte products. For the things I don't have, we're just going to have to substitute. So I started off with my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base because now I'm showing you guys my ring. I'll link it down below. It's amazing. The only Tarte primer I have is this one. This is the Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. I love this for pore filling, which I'm using this little spatula that I got for like $5 off of Amazon. But I don't have just like a face primer from Tarte, so kind of need to change that. I also don't have a lip liner, which is so odd to me. Anyway, I love this primer. If you need something for pore filling, it's really good. It's probably the best that I've used as far as pore filling. It works. It doesn't make your skin look weird. Foundations don't react weird with it. It's just really good. So I'm going to press that into my skin. Then I'm going in with one of my favorite foundations, the Tarte, everything's Tarte, the Rainforest of the Sea foundation in Light Sand. I managed to drip it all over. Did you see that? All over my shirt. This foundation is a water-based one. By the way, I'm using my Loreal sponge because, I do have a Tarte one, but I really don't like it. And this one's really good. If you need a drugstore option, this Loreal sponge is amazing. A lot of people say you shouldn't use a beauty blender with this foundation because it's water-based, but I like it better with a sponge rather than a brush. I think it looks good with either, but with a sponge, it just looks very natural. Then I'm going in with the Rainforest of the Sea concealer. I love this concealer. This is in the shade Light Medium. It's so good. I was trying to save it for this video, like I didn't want to use it, but I couldn't resist. So I started using it maybe like 2 weeks ago. I have fallen in love. Now, I know everybody raves about Tarte Shape Tape. When that first came out, I was obsessed with it. But now, sometimes when I use it, I don't know, I feel like it makes my under eyes look really heavy and crepey. I feel like I'm the only one, but this one looks so natural, it covers well, and it doesn't look heavy or cakey. So, yeah, I love it. I don't hear many people talk about it. It's such a good concealer, especially if you're someone who struggles with concealers looking very dry and crepey under your eyes. This one is a really good one to try out. So I just put it in all of the normal spots. Brightening. It's not too brightening. I could probably go a shade down, but I love it. I love everything about it. Then I'm going in with the Smooth Operator powder. This is the only powder that I have from Tarte, and I've never used it before. Like, it's brand new. It's this little sample guide that I got from somewhere, but I actually kind of liked it. I don't know why I never tried it before. I'm just so used to just using my crystal powder. But I went in with a Wayne Goss. I don't know which brush that is. I think it might be the 00. I'm not sure. But I used it and it looked really pretty. I need to get more Tarte powders. Like, I don't have a pressed powder from Tarte, which is very odd. So don't worry. We're going to be filling in these blanks. But I ended up using it pretty much on my entire face because I didn't have a pressed powder from Tarte. I just took a very tiny bit of it on the rest of my face, but I went hard on the center of my face, and it didn't look heavy. It didn't look, I don't know, it just looked really good. I'm kind of impressed. It's been sitting here forever, and I never used it. So then I took my big Makeup Forever brush. I don't have a lot of Tarte makeup brushes. I have like 1 or 2. So sorry I couldn't use Tarte brushes. And I don't have a Tarte eye primer. If you guys know of a good eyelid primer from Tarte, let me know. I just used my Smashbox one. Everything will be listed down in the description box as always. Now we are finally starting on the eyes. So I'm taking the Tarteist Pro eyeshadow palette. I love this palette. I hear very mixed reviews on it. Apparently I'm very excited to use it. I've never had a problem with it. I think it works really well. So I'm starting out with the shade Chic. And I'm running that through my crease with an E40 from Sigma. this shadow was really pretty. It has a little bit of like a pink undertone to it. It was just like the perfect transition shade. That's the shade that I go for. It's a little brown. It's kind of a little pink, but it blended well. I had no problems with it at all. Tarte shadows, I've said this before, but they're very hit or miss. They can be really good, and then the next palette they put out is really bad. But this one I think is really good. Then I'm taking the shade Minx. I love that name, Minx. You're such a little minx. This shade is really pretty. It's like a metallic, deep, like rose gold. I like to put metallic shades on with my finger. I could have gone in with a brush, but I used my finger. It built up nicely. It wasn't patchy. Really pretty shade. So if you're not familiar with this palette, there's a bunch of matte shades, and then down along the side there's 4 like foiled metallic shades. So yeah, this of course is one of the metallic shades. So I put that all over my lid, and then I'm going in with the shade Mod. It's like a deep red shade. It was so pigmented, so I had to kind of like brush it off on my hand because it is intense. And I just ran this all through my crease. I kind of focused it on the outer part and like blew it out, but I did take it all through my crease. And with a shade like this, it's kind of scary because it is so intense and bright, but I didn't have any problems blending this out. I mean, it did take a little while, but that's, I think, kind of normal for a shade like this. So I started out with an LNY brush, and you'll see at some point that I do go back in with my E40 and just kind of go along the edges just to make sure there's no harsh lines. But these were pretty much the only 2 shades that I used on my lid. Actually, I'm lying. There's one other shade, but you'll see. It didn't make much of a difference, the 3rd shade that I used. I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, this shade worked really well. I liked the combination of the rose gold with like the reddish pink crease. I've been really into pink eyeshadow. I don't know what's up with me, but I could wear pink eyeshadow every day and never get tired of it. Here's me going in with my E40 just to blend out those edges. But you can see it blended. I thought it blended out really well. So that's what I did. And moving on to the next step. I'm getting out of breath. I'm already out of breath. Oh my God, I'm dying. I don't have a Tarte black eyeliner, which is a sin. So I just went in with my Loreal one. Then I took the shade Trendy, and I used this little Morphe brush. I don't even know what brush that was, but apparently I like it. It's from the Rose Gold collection, but I took this shade on the outer part of my lid, and what I wanted to happen was I kind of wanted it to mix with the Rose Gold and make like a mermaid shade. I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but it didn't do much. It did add a little something. I feel like this shade on its own would be really pretty all over the lid, but over top of the Rose Gold, it didn't do what I wanted it to do, but it didn't take away from the look. I didn't think it did. Then I'm taking the shade Mod, that reddish shade that I put in my crease, and I'm running that along my lower lash line. This shade blended out so nicely, especially on my lower lash line. Like, I did not have to work at it. It just kind of happened. Yeah, I really, really like this shade. It's very pretty. It might be my favorite one in the palette. So I took that all over my entire lower lash line. But you'll see in a minute, I do go in with some of the metallic shades on the inner part. I can't do all mattes on the bottom. I just can't do it. So I took a mixture of Minx and Glam on the inner part of my lower lash line. So it was a gold shade and then the rose gold. And it just made like a soft, delicate rose gold. You guys know I'm super delicate. Huh, yeah, right. So I really like the way that it turned out. I totally winged everything. I had no idea what I was doing. I filmed this look once, but the look was totally different. I ended up hating it, so I refilmed it, and I love it. So then I went in with the Eye Jewels glitter liner in the shade White Gold. This thing is amazing. I raved about this before on Snapchat. Oh God, my phone's going off. I'm sorry. One side is like an intense gold shadow, and then there's a gold glitter on the other side. I just used the glitter. So I took it on my inner corner, and at first I thought it was a disaster. I'm like, this looks, it doesn't look that way on camera, but in real life it looked terrible. So we're going to go back to that in a minute. Then I took the shade Smoked, which is just a really deep brown, and I ran it along my lash line just to add a little bit of like fullness. Not that I need fullness with these crazy lashes. I've been using Latisse, if you don't know. Then I'm going in with my favorite mascara, Maneater. This is so good. My bottle is pretty much empty. I have another one on the way. It is amazing. So I put that all over my lashes. I also used it on my lower lashes. Now my lashes are crazy long from the Latisse, but this mascara, it makes them fluffy without being heavy. I love it, love it, love it so much. Like, look at those lashes. Come on. It's so good. It's so good. So after I do my mascara, I'm going back to the glitter. So what I did, I took it all over the inner corner and I was going to wipe it off. So I took a Q-tip and I kind of like smudged it. And for some reason, that little bit of smudging made the biggest difference. It made it just look not as heavy. I love the way I love the way it turned out afterwards. I know it sounds so stupid, but at first it just looked way too heavy. Then I'm going in with the Tarte highlighting palette. I'm taking the shade Strobe. This is called the Pro Glow palette to be exact. I took the shade Strobe as my brow bone shade. I gotta grab my phone. Somebody's blowing me up. I took it very lightly. I didn't want it to be like too intense or anything. Then I'm taking my little Park Avenue Princess contour palette. I've loved Park Avenue Princess forever. I haven't used it for a really long time, but I did like it. I wish it were a little bit more cool toned, but I mean, it looked pretty. It blended out nicely. Then I just took this Real Techniques brush just to make it a little bit more defined, but it was the same Park Avenue Princess. Then I'm taking that smooth operator powder and I'm baking, and it actually worked really nice for baking. I was kind of impressed. I'm using my Kat Von D brush to wipe the bake away. And then what are we doing next? I have no idea, so I'm just gonna roll with you guys till the next clip. For some reason my iMovie is not showing the clips. We are blushing. So I didn't know what shade I wanted to use, but I ended up going in with my favorite one, which is Exposed. I just depotted those blushes, and they're in a little Tarte Leopard. It's some sort of, I mean, it's an empty palette. I don't know the exact name for it, but I will link them down below. They're really well made. I love them. Then I'm going in with the shade Stunner. This is one of their new highlights. It's really pretty. You do kind of have to build it up a little bit. In the pan, it kind of looks like it's going to have glitter in it, but once it's on your face, you don't get any of the glitter. You just get like the bling, which is fine with me. But I thought it was really pretty. I wish it were a little bit lighter. I'm like really fair right now, so I can just wear it. Like if I were any more fair, I don't think I could pull it off. Put a little bit on my nose and, of course, on my Cupid's bow. I love a strong Cupid's bow highlight. And I took a little bit on my brow bone. My brows were not cooperating, so just pretend they don't even exist. And I don't have a Tarte lip liner or brow pencil, so I used my Anastasia Brow Wiz and Jordana Rockin' Rose, which is a really good lip liner, super inexpensive. Then I'm taking the Tarte Lip Paint in the shade Get It. I had never used this before. I was a little shocked because it was like very peach, but I did go in with the Tarte Gloss and then I liked it a little bit better. I've never worn these on their own for a long period of time, so I don't know how they wear, but with gloss on top, it was really nice. So then I took the Lip Sculptor in the shade Basic and I just used the gloss. Then I used my Skindinavia setting spray. I don't have a Tarte one, I'm sorry. But that was my look, you guys. I really like the way it turned out. I'm sorry my eyes are so red. I swear I'm not on drugs. The makeup just makes my eyes red. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Mwah. Bye.
There's something in my eye. That's a good fish. Very pretty. What is... Oh my god. Not bad. This little guy is not bad. I do wish... Well, I do wish it were bigger. That's what she said. Oh wait, whew. I don't do circles. Oh shit. I think I'm gonna puke.